The wind whispers softly.
All right, today we're jumping right into a really powerful devotional book by Apostle Morie Sanpha called Do the Work of an Evangelist. What's so fascinating is that the whole thing is built around one single powerful command. So we're going to deconstruct it piece by piece and see what it's all about. Okay, so this is it. This one verse right here is the absolute foundation for the entire book. And the author, Apostle Sanpha, makes it super clear from the get-go this isn't just some old advice for a guy named Timothy. Nope. It's presented as a divine charge. Think of it like a sacred command, and it's for everybody. So, a divine charge, what does that even mean? Well, the book doesn't mess around. It lays it out immediately. This is not a gentle suggestion. We're talking about a direct command, something that carries some serious, eternal weight. And that brings up a really important question. Who's this command for, exactly? Is it just for a select few, pastors or special leaders? The book's answer is a hard no. It argues that this is a core commission for every single believer, in every single generation. It's a universal, timeless thing, a sacred duty that the author says has eternal consequences. Okay, so if we have to do the work, what is the work? And what does it mean to be an evangelist? To really get a grip on this divine charge, the book actually starts by breaking down the keywords right there in the title. And this is where it gets really interesting. The book digs into the original Greek word for work, which is ergon. Now, that word can mean business, employment, or occupation. See where this is going? The whole idea is to reframe this work not as a hobby or a side hustle, but as a divine occupation. It's presented as like the primary business of heaven. So that's the work. What about the evangelist? The book argues this isn't some fancy formal title you have to earn. It's more of a role, or actually a bunch of roles. You're the bringer of good tidings, the messenger of the cross, the preacher, the sharer, the soul winner, all these different things that really just boil down to one core function, communicating the good news. All right, that brings us to the why. If this is supposed to be a divine job for everyone, what's the big rush? Why is it so important? Well, the book makes a strong case that this work isn't just critical, it's incredibly urgent. And where does that urgency come from? According to the book, it all starts with compassion. It points directly to this passage from Matthew, where Jesus sees the crowds and feels for them because they're harassed and helpless, like sheep without a shepherd. So the motivation isn't just about fulfilling a duty, it's a gut reaction to seeing people who are lost and need help. And that feeling of compassion leads right into this really stark call to action. The book paints this picture of a huge harvest, tons of people who need to hear the message, but only a handful of workers to do the job. It's a really powerful image, right? A massive need and a very small response. And that's when the book just hits you with these questions directly. If not you, then who? If not now, then when? It's a really personal challenge. It takes this huge, abstract problem and boils it right down to an individual choice you have to make. So let's say you're on board. The call is universal, the need is urgent. But how do you actually do this work? The book doesn't just leave you with the what and the why. It gets super practical and lays out the how, giving us two really distinct models to follow. First up, we've got what the book calls the four-part model of Jesus, based on his public ministry. It's a pretty straightforward process. 1, go. You have to actively go out into the communities. 2, teach. You explain the truth so people can understand. 3, preach. You proclaim the message with conviction. And 4, heal. You show compassion in a tangible way. But here's the thing, it's not just about that big public model. The book immediately contrasts it with a much more personal approach, using Andrew as the example. So while Jesus was out preaching to massive crowds, what did Andrew do? He just found his own brother, Simon, and brought him to Jesus. By showing both of these, the book makes a really key point. This work can be a huge public proclamation, or it can be a quiet, one-on-one conversation. Both are valid. Okay, so we've got the divine charge, the urgency, these different models of how to do it. How does it all come together? This is where we get to the book's ultimate takeaway, the main point it's been building towards. And here it is. The core argument of the whole book is that doing the work of an evangelist is not supposed to be some occasional activity, something you schedule for a Saturday afternoon. It's meant to be a daily, all-encompassing lifestyle. It's woven into the fabric of who you are and everything you do. Which leaves us with this final, really thought-provoking question that the book poses. What happens when a personal belief becomes a public commission? It's really asking us to think about that bridge between what we believe in our hearts and what we do out in the world. And that transformation from belief to action is really the central idea this whole devotional wants you to grapple with.
Make disciples, hear the call. Bring the light to the corners, to them all. Teach the world.